It is time for some real talk. Our next guest says every marriage will either end in death or divorce. Be financially prepared for either. We're talking about the importance of being financially independent now with Lydia Andrews. She's a wealth advisor, a coach from Love Yourself Financially. I've never thought about it like that, but you're absolutely right.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well. I love talking money. I think I'm quite new to the conversation. I've only started investing in the last kind of year and a half, and I'm kind of a bit annoyed and a bit embarrassed that I didn't take control of that for a very long time. There's probably more pairs of shoes in my wardrobe than there would have been had I started on that journey earlier. So I'm so glad that you're just as passionate. What is your mission, Lydia? What's your goal?
I want to see all women investing and building wealth and doing so by healing their relationship with money.
This is what I wanted to ask you. So your course has 3 parts. You look at money healing, money mindset, and money moves. What do you mean by money healing, and why is that such an important foundation for, I guess, well, repair, obviously, but reaping the benefits?
Because I think the foundation of building wealth starts with healing, and that means looking at your mindsets, looking at any money trauma you may have experienced, the way you respond to money. So in different financial situations, when you get a bill, when you're at the grocery store, anything. If your emotions are a bit out of whack, then it tells me you need to heal your relationship with money.
What can cause a money trauma? Can you give us some examples of things that people might have gone through that can inform their philosophy around money as an adult?
Sure, it could be something as subtle as hearing your parents argue about money growing up, hearing them make certain statements like money doesn't grow on trees, put that back, we don't have enough money for it, it's not worth it, it's too expensive. These type of comments impact the way that you view money.
Can I ask you then about your philosophy, which is about put yourself first? And we're talking about women in particular. What are some of the stories women tell themselves about money, their potential to earn, to invest, that stops them from putting themselves first?
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand. It's too late for me. There's so many. And unfortunately, we've been socialized to think that maybe we have to depend on someone else. Mm-hmm. Our husband's going to do it. Our parents did it for us. So we don't need to figure it out. And that's a lie.
It is. I mean, my dad, to this day, if he could fill out my, bank forms and do everything for me, he would, because that was his way of caring, of being protective and showing love. And it was very easy to go along into like my 20s being like, oh, Big Dave will help me out. And then, as you say, you can get married and allow someone else. How important is it for women to have a seat at the table when it comes to knowing what family finances are? And even if they're not earning themselves, but to understand what money is where and what it's doing?
Honestly, I don't think I can state it strongly enough, because I've seen too many circumstances where women have no idea what's going on. Either they get divorced or their spouse dies, passes away, and they're shocked by some of the revelations that come through. Mm-hmm. So it's important for women to be aware of what's going on from the very beginning. A lot of times women are very much involved in the household expenses, but not involved in the investment decisions. And I think it's probably more important to be involved in the investment decisions.
That's quite a hard thing to kind of turn in towards after you've been married for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, suddenly be like, right, let's sit down and talk about, let's get the bills out, let's get the accounts out. Because as you say, in an ideal world, it would be from the beginning that, we're equal partners in terms of our understanding, our ability to be a team, to move forward together with the same financial goals. But to then come in and say, well, I listened to Lydia and Helen on the radio and now I want to be involved. What about getting that financial education so you feel like, more empowered to be part of that conversation? Where does that come from?
Well, that's what I'm here for. So I have something called money dates. It's very simple. You and your spouse, your partner can sit down and you don't have to delve deep into your finances initially, but you're having those conversations, understanding your values behind money, why you spend the way you do, why saving is important. And then when you get to the heart of it, then you can start opening up a bit more. As you become more vulnerable and you share, then you can touch on those important topics such as investing and planning.
What if you've got very different philosophies around money? Mm-hmm. Someone's a saver, someone's a spender, someone maybe doesn't want to reveal the debts or loans that they have, even to the person that they're closest to. That must be really difficult to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, they say opposites attract, right? So it's only natural to expect it. But it's not about judging the other person. It's about understanding where they're coming from. Because the way that we spend money, the way we manage money now is a reflection of our upbringing. So if I can understand where you're coming from, I'm going to be a bit more gracious with you. And I'll be willing to have those conversations. But unfortunately, because I don't understand, because we haven't had those conversations, I'm just going to attack you. I'm going to judge you. And I'm going to point my finger at you. And we're going to have arguments, which we don't want.
Joining us in studio, Lydia Andrews. She's a wealth advisor, a coach from Love Yourself Financially. If you've got any questions for her, want to share your take on the importance of being financially independent, we'd love to hear from you. 4001. You've got the app, you've got the WhatsApp. Going to come to a couple of issues next. Pink tax, gender pay gap, and Lydia saying saving money isn't enough. You've got to invest. But where do you start? That's coming up after the latest On Your Roads with Chloe.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
With Yas Island Abu Dhabi, stay at iconic hotels and play booking opportunities in Dubai real estate.
Roll up and show off your Arabic. I have got a great prize up for grabs this afternoon. We want to send you to Jebel Akhdar, to the Dusat D2 Nassim Resort. So you're going to be 2,000 metres above sea level, mountain breeze. It's actually Oman's rose season now. So the special stay rates, festive offers from 900 dirhams, and there's even like immersive farm tour where you can see the rose water distillation process. And then at the resort itself, there's Nam Spa, there's trails for bikes and e-scooters, there's dining in the dark. So a really, really gorgeous opportunity to go along. And I've got a one-night stay in a deluxe room for 2 adults, including breakfast. You can go into the draw if you tell me, what does Akhtar mean? I'm going to even give you multiple choice. We have had Jackie saying she had to ask her 4-year-old granddaughter who got it right. Does Akhtar mean green or blue? That's all you need to tell me on 4001 on the app or indeed the WhatsApp. But please include your name, 4001 and 048715500. That's also the way to get in touch if you've got any questions for any of our guests between now and 5.
This is Money Matters with National Bonds. Save, invest, prosper.
In conversation now with Lydia Andrews. She says every woman should be financially independent regardless of their relationship status. According to data, 59% of widows and divorcees wish they'd been more involved in long-term financial decisions. I've got so many questions for you. And I guess I wanted to come to that point there about getting married. What are some of the questions you should ask yourself, the conversations you're having with your partner before you walk down the aisle?
There's so many, but one of the important ones is how do you manage the money? The joint account conversation. Personally, I believe you should have separate accounts, and you can have a joint account for expenses for investments that are done jointly. And even for that, both people should have to sign before anyone can access the money, not just one person.
What about the gender pay gap? In terms of, there's not a huge amount of transparency in certain parts of the world, but it is very much still an issue. And pink tax, do you feel like women are disadvantaged? Is it harder for us to earn more and save more and crucially invest more?
This is exactly why women do need to invest, because unfortunately the world is set up such that we're earning less money and then we have to pay more money due to the pink tax.
For anyone that's not familiar with what pink tax is, would you explain it, Lydia?
Of course. So the pink tax is very simple. If you look at our products like shampoo, razors, men's products are generally blue, women's products are pink. Women's products cost more. There's no reason for it.
Gypped again. So the odds are not in our favour in terms of incomings and outgoings, but do you feel like investment is where you can tip the scales?
Exactly. Compound interest will work in your favour, and use the money that you have to invest so that you can build wealth, because unfortunately women are more likely to save than to invest, and I really want to see women investing.
How do men and women invest differently?
I think men generally, if you look at the research, are much more risk takers, but women are not. And because of that, women end up being more successful when it comes to investing.
Because this is something that I've kind of had a realization with over the last couple of years, which is investing is actually really boring, and that's fine.
I agree. A lot of people should be investing very simply in the stock market.
For beginners, are there any books, any resources, whether it's your own or someone else's? Because people could be listening to this going, okay, I understand I should be investing, but I don't even know how to access a platform, what I should be looking for, how much of my salary should be going into certain pots. Can we do a real kind of 101 guide? I know it's something that you address in your course as well. But for people listening today, we can get them on the right path. Where to start?
Well, the first thing is you need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. Then you know your disposable income number. From your disposable income number, then you can decide how much you should allocate towards investing for the future. You need to have an emergency fund, so at least money that will survive, that you can survive on for about 6 months minimum, ideally. Then you can save towards sinking funds, so any short-term expenses, vacations, and so on. Then you can look at investing for the future. So you need to know, based on your own balance sheet, how much you can put towards the future.
You mentioned money dates before. This is something that you have on your website, your Instagram. Would you mind kind of sharing the best way of getting in touch with you, Lydia?
Sure. My Instagram, I'm on all social media as Lydia Elim, Lydiaelim. You can DM me. You can click the link in my bio. I have my free download there for money date nights.
Tell you what, if you want to send me the word money, we'll make it even easier. So you have a 14-week course where you work with a cohort of women, take them all the way through these 3 stages. So money healing, money mindset, and money moves. Would you mind kind of breaking those down for us and why they are really crucial, kind of in the order as well?
Mm-hmm. So before we talked about beliefs, mindsets, money trauma, that all make up your money story. And it's important to heal from that because that money story impacts the way that you manage your money today. And if you don't heal that, you might be managing your money in a way that does not allow you to live and thrive financially. Mm-hmm. So when you do heal that, then we can shift towards money mindset. A lot of people focus on money mindset, and I do think it's important, but unless you truly work on the healing first, your mindset, you can work on it for a bit, but you might revert eventually.
Do you feel like some people, and we know we're talking about women in particular, but some people might have beliefs that they're never meant to be wealthy, they don't deserve to have money?
Oh, absolutely. I hear those statements all the time. And sometimes now I can hear it very subtly. And without even realizing, for example, a phrase like saying, that person is filthy rich. Money isn't filthy. Why are we saying things like that?
But isn't that interesting that I feel like there is a certain amount, I'm talking as a woman, to feel a bit of guilt from doing well or investing well. There's some really interesting data about what women choose to invest in, whether that is more ethical or feminist stocks, because you feel like, okay, I'm supporting a business that I believe in, and a nice byproduct is that I'm getting a good return as well.
Yeah.
Interesting messages coming in. One here saying, invest more in the stocks of designer brands rather than just their bags. LVMH and Hermes have great returns. It's really interesting. And message here saying, great show as always. My husband and I met in 2020. He's entertainment, I was in education, then COVID hit, both out of work. It took 10 months to secure a job in a different sector. Lost my home, spent my savings, knocked my confidence as I've always been financially independent. I was a sole breadwinner for 2 years and it's been a struggle. We are experts at being poor. Decided to take a risk and go back to a career in real estate. No basic salary, no husband at work. Some months are steak dinners and some are super noodles. My husband's now working and I'm doing well in a job I love. We made it. We share all bills, never argue about money as we struggled for so long. We're looking forward to a honeymoon this year as neither of us have left the UAE since 2019. That's well done. Congratulations. Because I think there can be this idea of feeling defeated, of like, well, this is it. Now we need to leave, or we need to, this is how it's always going to be. Yeah. It's a real choice to educate yourself, to connect with people. A message here saying, when is the next course? And loads of people asking for your details as well, Lydia. So it's not until after the summer, but in the meantime, you do have some great resources. Can you kind of explain a little bit about how you work with people?
Sure. I mean, I do some one-on-one coaching as well. My coaching cohort doesn't start until September, but in the meantime, feel free to get in touch with me. My money dates, I am in the process of creating a bunch of new resources, so they should be out by the end of this month, so stay tuned. Join my email list. You'll have updates. I send weekly newsletters every Friday.
Ooh, yes. I'm on it.
So there's some good stuff there.
What is your number one tip for women in particular who feel like their head is in the sand and they are out of their depth when it comes to finances?
Take one step. If it's just send me a DM and that's the one step. If it's watch a video and that's the one step, take one step. That one step will boost your confidence and then you'll take the next step.
Build that momentum.
Exactly.
And start investing. Thank you so much, Lydia. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I think it's wonderful to think about people being proactive and, we think about this kind of idea of glass ceiling. It's not always a glass ceiling. Sometimes it's a door that you need to hold open to the people behind you. And I think you're doing a wonderful, wonderful job of that. As I said, lots of people sending me the word money to 4001. With your permission, I'll share your details so people can reach out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You might see me in September.
Oh, I love that.
If you want those details, you can get in touch. You don't need to put your name on it. No questions asked. We would just love to help you out and get you on that road. We've got The Real Thing now. You to Me Are Everything on Dubai Eye 103.8. We do talk Money Matters every single Tuesday afternoon, and loads to look forward to on the show tomorrow as well. We're talking about repatriation. Have you left the UAE, hated it, only to come back? We're going to be hearing from the people that have and how to get over it.